Capricorn, welcome to you. This is your tarot reading for the month of January. The central card there, the Fool card, I see this as very good. I think we all understand now that the world has changed forever. We're in a new paradigm. But not all of us, well, in fact, almost all of us, almost none of us, know what to expect. So the best thing we can do is accept change and go off on a new journey with a wide-eyed innocence. Certainly in the past you did get an inspiration, but maybe that inspiration was just exposing the corruption, the greed, the manipulation that's gone on. This is why you want to create something for yourself. And now you are seeking answers, probably seeking some sort of an action. What should you be doing? As I think we all are. In the future, you probably do get it because you get the bit between your teeth. You're brave, you're bold, fearful and fearless. You get the bit between your teeth. But there is a hiccup. You know, this new journey, there will be pitfalls. And I think you're seeing things a little bit too pessimistically at the moment. A little bit glass half full rather than half empty. And that leads to the outcome. What would change things is the King of Cups, the King of Love. Understanding things a bit better, maybe even forgiving those that you blame for the position we now find humanity in, maybe. But the outcome I don't see as a bad outcome. I mean, yeah, like us all, you feel like you're carrying the burden of the world on your shoulders because once you know the level of corruption, the level of deceit, the level of manipulation, the level of lies, you somehow take it personally, don't you? And it does weigh down on your shoulders, but an end is in sight. It really is. Yeah, an end is in sight, Capricorn. So stay with me and let's unpack this very interesting reading. Like us all, Capricorn, you've spotted the manipulation that's gone on. You've spotted the lies. You've maybe even begun to see the corruption. Begun to see how humanity is being destroyed by a greedy few. A greedy few who tell us trust in us when you wouldn't even trust your granny with them. You know what I mean? They're the least trustworthy people in the world, and we all know it now. We all want to do something, but most of us can't work out what. Well, you're doing something. You're creating a new life with a wide-eyed innocence, and you're saying, I don't want to be taken to one side and said, oh, but you don't really understand, you know, it's more complicated. You don't want complications. You want it to be simple. You want an innocence about it. And you know you'll make mistakes and that's how you'll learn. But there's been so much manipulation. You don't want to hear any more. You don't want any more bullshit. You just want to go off. Go off and do it yourself. Do you know, Capricorn, I think it took you a while to spot what was going on, you know. And then it suddenly came to you in a flash. Just like that, you know. It was though it was a download from the Almighty. It came into your mind just like that. And you went, oh my God, they've been lying to us. And if they're lying to us about this thing they want us to, well, they made us stick in our arms, what else have they lied about? Has everything been a lie? Has my entire life been a lie? Has every cause that I've believed in been a lost cause? Has everything been so that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? Yeah, the penny's dropped, hasn't it? The penny's dropped with you, Capricorn, and you're determined to do something positive, and we all are, you know. And as we all start acting like you, we can bring about change, you know. We can change things. Crazy though it sounds, if you think of it, there's only a few of them. And if the rest of us are saying this is enough, things have to change, we can change it. Now, Capricorn, it may feel like this download you got and you awakened, but you're too clever to use words like that. You're much more sophisticated. What you know is, just because you've grasped what's going on, you also need to understand how you must act. And you're a little bit unsure of this, and we all are, so you go off seeking more information. And of course, the information that comes back is not so simple. The picture is much more complex, and you're clever enough to see that, and to see that it's going to take some thought before you can really act. But act you will. Act you will. Yeah. I think it's quite admirable the way you're approaching this. I really do, Capricorn. And of course, how you should act was there staring you in the face. How you should act is the exact opposite to how things have been. So instead of secrecy, we must have transparency. Instead of censorship, we must have freedom of speech. Instead of wars, we must have peace. Instead of corruption, we must have responsibility. Instead of greed, we must have sharing. Instead of fear, we must have love. And you get the bit between your teeth, and you're going to spread all those messages far and wide, because you're now bold, you're brave, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, and you're on a mission, and you will get there, but you've much to do and you need to do it quickly. Yeah. God bless you, Capricorn. But before you develop that sense of mission, there is a degree of self-doubt. Not unnaturally, you're saying, can we really change society? Can we really do it just by the power of our minds when they have armies and secret services on their side? You're getting a bit of cold feet, and that does lead to the outcome, but I'm certain this will pass. I'm also certain that, you're seeing the glass half empty rather than half full. And if you're a bit more creative, you would see just on the horizon, not even the horizon, not that far away, a much better world. A better place that we can all be together in. A better place where those who've deceived, those who've placed their own personal gain above everything, they don't live there. No, they've run off to their Epstein Islands. They've run off to their gated communities. Now, the outcome isn't a bad outcome. In fact, I think it's a good outcome. But there's an alternative way there that I think would speed things up. And that is to throw yourself into love, to be guided by love, to recognise that retribution, hatred, wars, fear, these are all what they've used. Crime, punishment. These are all their tactics. And we must be guided by love, and only love. We have to love ourselves, number one. Then we have to love others before we can love humanity and God. But we do need to do all those things. So you could follow that, but if you don't, I don't think it's lost. No, it just means you'll struggle a bit more. You see, the outcome is an outcome of struggle. An outcome of feeling like you're carrying the burden of the world on your back. And of course, once you begin to realise the magnitude of the deception, once you begin to realise the truth behind these wars, these regular crises, once you begin to realise that everything that happens is designed to make the rich richer and the poor poorer, you feel a burden of responsibility upon your back. A burden of responsibility that somehow you've got to share, but how can you? Even if you open a YouTube channel, they will probably censor you. Unless you do it within tarot readings. It's always an option, isn't it? But who would do that? You feel this burden to tell the world all that's going on, and but how do you do it? How do you do it? Well, the great news is that things are nearly over. Most of us are thinking just like you now. And the power of our thoughts alone will be enough to send them to their Epstein Islands and their hobbit homes. Yeah. The day's nearly there. It really is. Let's get some clarity. And I'm going to seek clarity on this Five of Cups. Why are you pessimistic? First cup we get is the King of Pentacles. It's about money. Second card we get is the Four of Cups. Going inside yourself and looking for answers. And the final card we get is the Five of Wands. Conflict. But if only we could talk, it's all so resolvable. How interesting. Let's look at each individually. So the first card of clarity is the King of Pentacles. Somebody who's good with money. Somebody who understands money. Remember, this is why you were being pessimistic. Yes, like me. You've looked at all the different investments and markets, and spotted every one of them is rigged. Every single one of them is rigged. Yes, you could make money out of Bitcoin or out of this or out of that, but ultimately They're all rigged so that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And you're beginning to understand that. And, the way that we've been kept in line, the way that we've not chosen to shake the tree until now is they've used money. They've used money. You are not allowed to provide for your family and eat because you don't have enough money. You're not allowed a roof over the head because you don't have enough money. And of course now they're going to destroy money itself. Such is their egomania, the greatest weapon they have to keep everybody in control. And they're going to destroy it. So don't get too despondent. Because they are stupid. Why do I say they're stupid? Well, all psychopaths are actually stupid. All psychopaths ultimately destroy themselves. None could be bothered to put in the work to really thinking things through and researching what is the best way. No, they try and do it all by bravado, and you're beginning to realise that. And maybe the most stupid thing they do is to think that we're all as stupid as them. And you're not. And you're sitting there and you're thinking about it. And yes, it makes you a little depressed that we've been played for fools. Played for fools for so long. We've all fitted into shape, haven't we? Fitted square pegs into round holes. And now you're really giving it some thought. Thinking about it. And yes, it's a little bit depressing, but you'll come out of it. You'll come out of it. Don't worry about it. The other reason why you're a little bit depressed is there is conflict. Inevitably there will be conflict. Inevitably. It's a great challenge to turn round to somebody and say, you've been engaged in fraud and corruption and your wealth is not being honestly earned. Well, of course it's going to lead to conflict and they'll fight to keep hold of their wealth, but they're not happy. So if only we can find a way around explaining to them that actually we want to create a better world for everybody, including them. Yes, if they want to. We're not going to stop them going to their Epstein Islands and their Hobbit homes and their new capitals. But they'll soon realise they've created their own prisons. And if they want to engage with other humans, then they need to come along with us. And yeah, it's causing you to be a little bit depressed because you can't see how, but it can happen. It can happen. After all, this whole project is about faith, isn't it? Faith that people, just through the power of their imagination, can change the world. So does this seem such a big one to cross? Capricorn, what an interesting reading for January. In the past, like so many of us, you suddenly became aware of the massive deception, the scale of the greed, the scale of the manipulation that's gone on. It was like a download. It came to you in a flash. And you're determined to do something about it, but you don't quite know what, and you're seeking out what action you should take. And, maybe it is best to just go off on a journey and see what happens and learn from that. But to a certain degree, when you think of the enormity of what's gone on, it makes you a little depressed. How greed has destroyed the mechanisms for creating wealth itself, has destroyed money itself, has destroyed everything. We can't even trust education or health now, can we? There is nothing we can trust because it's all been destroyed by greed, and that does make you depressed, and you do go inside yourself. But you begin to realise that they think we're as stupid as them. And that's exactly what a psychopath does. They believe everybody's as stupid as them, and we're not. And so slowly, through the power of your own thought, you're managing to pull out of this. And managing to pull out of it, and you realise that this conflict with them can be resolved if only you can explain it to them. But that seems so difficult. That seems so difficult. But it is resolvable. And maybe that's what we're here on this earth to do. It's going to end quite quickly. You know, right now you're carrying this burden because it's the burden of knowledge of all that's gone on, and you're feeling like the burden of the world is on your shoulders because you've got this information, and what should you do with it? But what you don't realise is we're all seeing through it. We've all understood, all of us. The game is up. The game is up. And it's about to end very quickly. Yeah, let them disappear to their Epstein Islands, to their new capitals, to their gated communities, to their hobbit houses in New Zealand. For they have created prisons for themselves. And we must get on with building a better world. Now, you could get through this quicker and avoid that depression by putting your faith in love. Because if you begin to realise that what we must do is quite simple, it's the opposite of everything that has gone in the past. No more corruption, no more greed, no more manipulation, no more lying, no more censorship, no more putting yourself first. Believing in love, believing in community, believing that man is good and not